Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba resigns amid party calls to take poll defeat responsibility. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar says Gaza conflict could end if hostages are released. Hamas lays down arms. Benjamin Netanyahu says hundreds of thousands of people have left Gaza so far. And in the US Open, Italy's Jannik and Spain's Carlos Alcaraz are set for a historic showdown in their third straight Grand Slam final of this year. Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba stepped down after less than a year in power, during which he lost his majority in both houses of parliament. The announcement means fresh uncertainty for the world's fourth largest economy as it battles rising food prices and deals with the fallout of US tariffs on its vital auto sector. Opponents of Ishiba had been calling for him to step down to take responsibility for dire election results following the party's poor performance in an upper chamber vote in July. The lower house elections in October last year saw the LDP suffer its worst result in 15 years. Ishiba told a news conference in Tokyo on Sunday that the long-dominant Liberal Democratic Party should prepare for a leadership election and he would stay in position until then.
I have decided to resign as the Liberal Democratic Party president.
DD India correspondent Polomi Burman sent us this report from Tokyo.
In a big announcement today, the Prime Minister of Japan, Shigeru Ishiba, has announced his resignation from the post of the Prime Minister of the country, which also means he's no longer going to be the leader of the ruling party of Japan, that is LDP. During his resignation speech, Shigeru Ishiba mentioned the US tariff as the reason for his resignation. He also mentioned about PM Modi while talking about his achievements in the during his tenure, which is since September last year. He has been in office for a year now, and said that he had successful summit with PM Modi of India. And going back to the point, what's next for Japan? So the ruling party of Japan, that is LDP, is going to get into a full-scale preparation for a presidential election within its own party. Once the successor for the leadership of LDP has been decided, there's going to be a prime ministerial election in the upper house, that is the House of Representatives in Japan. Now, as we all have seen that in July during the upper house elections, the LDP did not get a majority. The prime ministerial elections in the upper house is going to get difficult because the LDP do not have a majority in the upper house this time. So it's all we will have to wait and watch what happens next, who's going to become the next Prime Minister of Japan. The country definitely wants someone, considering the economic condition and the rising prices, the country definitely wants someone who can form better fiscal policies and monetary policies in the country.
Anuthinin Charnivirakul, leader of the conservative Bhumjatai party, was formally endorsed as Thailand's 32nd Prime Minister by King Maha Vajiralongkorn on Sunday, 2 days after securing a resounding 311-152 parliamentary victory over Pheu Thai's Chaikisem Nitisiri. The new Prime Minister knelt in homage at his party's headquarters before paying respects to family. He also urged national unity to enforce the law strictly and advance economic recovery amid a weak tourism sector and border tensions with Cambodia.
I, as Prime Minister, and all the members of my cabinet will work tirelessly and devote every part of our physical and mental energy to get our country, Thailand, out of its various crises as quickly as possible. My government will urgently work to resolve the border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia through peaceful means to reduce losses of the people of both countries. However, Thailand must adhere to its principles. We will never lose a single square centimeter of our territory.
Anuthin's ascent follows Paithonta Shinawat's August 29th court dismissal for ethics violations in a leaked Cambodia call hinged on a pact with the Progressive People's Party for a constitutional referendum and dissolution within 4 months, potentially triggering April to May 2026 elections. South Korea has wrapped up talks with the United States for the release of detained Korean workers in Georgia. Presidential Chief of Staff said that a plane will be on its way to bring back the Koreans once administrative procedures are completed. This week, U.S. federal agents carried out a raid at Hyundai Motor manufacturing facility in Georgia. This raid was the largest single-site enforcement operation in the history of the Department of Homeland Security. In this operation, over 300 South Koreans were among the 475 people arrested. President Chief of Staff added that the government will seek ways to improve the visa system to prevent a similar incident.
As a result of swift and united efforts by government ministries, business groups and companies, talks with the United States for the release of the detained workers have been concluded. But what remains now are only administrative procedures, and once those are completed, a chartered plane will depart to bring our people home. To prevent a similar incident in the future, we will work with the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy and related companies to review and improve the residency status and visa system for travelers on US-related projects.
On to West Asia now. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar said on Sunday that the conflict in Gaza could end if hostages were released and Hamas laid down its weapons. His statements during a press conference with his Danish counterpart Lars Løkke Rasmussen in Jerusalem come a day after Hamas reiterated its long-standing position that it would free all hostages if Israel agreed to an end to the conflict and withdraw its forces from Gaza City. Rasmussen called for an immediate halt to Israel's offensive in Gaza and a release of all hostages.
The war in Gaza can end tomorrow morning if, with only two simple things. The return of our hostages. We still have 48 hostages that were kidnapped from their homes on October 7th in Gaza Strip. And with Hamas laying down its arms. And I emphasize the second thing because the second thing also guarantees the future of Gaza and the Palestinians, a different future, released from the oppressive and terrorist regime of Hamas. We will be more than happy to reach to this objective with political means, with diplomatic means, instead of military.
It goes without saying that we demand that all Israeli hostages in Gaza are released immediately. And we have said that frequently and from day one, also Israel's right to self-defense. But it doesn't change the fact that we are extremely concerned about the humanitarian disaster in Gaza. And that's why I used the opportunity today to repeat our calls for Israel to stop the military offensive in Gaza, to ensure immediate and unhindered humanitarian assistance. And I also expressed our deep concern by the expansion of settlements in the And I reiterated Denmark's offer to help assisting with the treatment of patients from Gaza in East Jerusalem or the West Bank.
Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday said that Israel was deepening its operations in and around Gaza City, adding that around 100,000 people have left Gaza so far.
We are destroying terror infrastructures. We are destroying incriminated terror towers. And we have set up another humanitarian area to allow the civilian population in Gaza to leave for a safe place and receive humanitarian aid there. About 100,000 people have left Gaza so far. Hamas is trying to do everything so they won't leave. So they would stay there and act as a human shield for it. If I need to choose between victory over our enemies and negative propaganda against us, I choose victory over our enemies rather than the opposite. I don't want articles when we are defeated by our enemies, but get positive eulogy articles in the world media. I chose victory.
In the latest update in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, Russia fired its biggest ever aerial barrage at Ukraine early Sunday, setting the seat of the Ukrainian government in Kiev ablaze. Russia has shown no signs of halting its 3.5-year attack of Ukraine, pushing hardline demands for ending the conflict, despite efforts by the United States to broker a peace deal. The barrage came after several European countries, led by France and Britain, pledged on Thursday to deploy reassurance forces to Ukraine to patrol a peace deal between the warring sides, a demand Moscow has deemed unacceptable. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that he spoke with French President Emmanuel Macron after Russia's biggest wartime airstrike on Ukraine. Ukraine attacked the Druzhba oil pipeline in Russia's Bryansk region, inflicting comprehensive fire damage, the commander of the drone forces said on Sunday. There was no immediate comment from Russia. Kiev says it strikes on Russian energy targets in response to Moscow's continued attacks on Ukraine, aimed to undermine the adversary's overall war effort. While Ukrainian officials said on Sunday that Russian drone attack on Ukraine's capital Kiev injured at least 8 people and sparked fires at several high-rise apartment buildings in the city's west and east. According to the authorities, drone debris also caused fires atop a 16-story and 2 9-story buildings in the Sviato-Shenevsky district in Kiev's west. In Washington, D.C., thousands of protesters marched to protest against President Trump's policies, particularly the deployment of the National Guard troops in the Capitol. Protesters chanted slogans denouncing Trump and carrying signs that read, "Trump must go now," "Free D.C.," and "Resist tyranny." It is unclear when their mission will end, though the Army this week extended orders for the D.C. National Guard through November 30th.
I'm here to protest the occupation of D.C. We need to free D.C. D.C. needs to be a state, needs to be the 51st state here in the Union. Today is free D.C. Today is we're opposing the authoritarian regime, and we need to get the federal police and the National Guard off our streets.
Last month, Trump deployed the National Guard to re-establish law and order and public safety, claiming crime was ruining the city. However, the Justice Department data showed that violent crime in Washington, D.C. actually hit a 30-year low in 2024. Moving on, we take a look now at other stories making news around the world. Indian naval ship INS Kadmat led the mobile fleet review during Papua New Guinea's 50th Independence Day celebrations. The event underscored India's growing maritime partnerships in the region. The prestigious event took place in Port Moresby Harbour and featured participation from multiple nations. In Portugal, the tourist-friendly Lisbon funicular train has crashed into a building due to probable cable fault, claiming 16 lives and injuring another 22. The first investigative report into the crash has been released by the authorities. Fashion label Armani has released black and white photographs portraying the late designer Giorgio Armani as a child. The fashion designer who crafted modern Italian style and elegance passed away at the age of 91 years. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Norwegians begin voting in tightly fought parliamentary elections. And in Bangladesh, Awami League party activists stage protests in capital Dhaka.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I am Tanvi Taneja. Norwegians went to the polls on Sunday for the first of 2 days of voting. In this parliamentary election, there is a close race between the left-wing bloc led by the incumbent Labour Party and a right-wing bloc headed by the populist Progress Party and the Conservatives. At least 9 political parties are expected to win seats in the parliamentary election, but only the leaders of the 3 major parties are candidates for Prime Minister. Political parties raised several key issues in the election campaign that include the cost of living, taxation and public services, as well as the management of Norway's $2 trillion sovereign wealth fund. Brazil is celebrating its Independence Day today. In a televised address to the nation on the eve of Independence Day, President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva defended the nation's sovereignty while denouncing politicians he described as traitors. His comments follow efforts by allies of former President Jair Bolsonaro to push for harsher foreign sanctions on Brazil and advocate for a controversial bill in Congress that would grant amnesty to the individuals convicted for the January 8, 2023 attacks on government institutions.
We are not and will never again be anyone's colony. We are capable of governing and caring for our land and our people without interference from any foreign government. We maintain friendly relations with all countries, but we do not accept orders from anyone. We will resist any attempt to undermine democracy. The role of some Brazilian politicians who encourage attacks on Brazil is unacceptable. They were elected to serve the Brazilian people, but they only defend their own interests. They are traitors to the nation. History will not forgive them.
In Bangladesh, over 1,000 activists of Sheikh Hasina's banned Awami League party staged a protest march near the parliament in Dhaka on Sunday. The protest started on Sunday afternoon under the Bijoy Sarani metro rail station. Demonstrators marched along the road in front of the parliament before concluding at Kamarbadi. Sheikh Hasina's Awami League party was officially banned in Bangladesh after her ouster. Activists chanted slogans in praise of Sheikh Hasina, underscoring their determination to keep their movement alive despite the ban. Some weather updates now. First from India. The India Meteorological Department has issued red alert in West Rajasthan for extremely heavy rainfall on Sunday. The weather agency put Saurashtra and Kutch regions and western state of Gujarat under red alert for heavy rainfall, thunderstorm and lightning. Heavy to very heavy rainfall is also likely over East Rajasthan, Konkan and Goa and central Madhya Pradesh. The weather agency also predicted heavy rainfall at isolated places over northeastern regions of India, eastern state of Odisha, sub-Himalayan West Bengal and southern states of Tamil Nadu's Puducherry and the northern state of Uttarakhand. Situation in Punjab remains critical as the rain continues today in several parts, including Firozpur and Fazilka. The state government is continuously working to provide relief and support to those affected. In Sultanpur Lodi's Kinjarpur village, the embankment built on the Beas River has weakened. Efforts are underway to strengthen it. The water level in Pong Dam has also reached 1,393 feet, which is 13 feet above the danger mark. Private schools in Punjab will reopen from Monday, while all government schools will reopen from September 9th. So far, 46 people have lost their lives in the state and 3 are missing. The Indian Met Department has issued alerts for further rainfall, which may exacerbate the situation. The Punjab government said that nearly 2,000 villages and over 4 lakh people have been affected. On to some entertainment news now. India's Information and Broadcasting Ministry organised the inaugural session of WAVE's World Audiovisual and Entertainment Summit on Saturday in Toronto. The event took place on the sidelines of the 50th Toronto International Film Festival. Creative minds, industry leaders and policymakers came together to foster collaborations, co-productions and partnerships between India and the world. Here are some excerpts from what the delegates said at the event.
I've been fortunate to have participated many times in different events in India, from Ficky Frames to NFDC-sponsored events, and I'm well aware of the extraordinary talent in India. And my hope is that over the next few years, there's going to be a bridge built, a really strong one, and that we're going to see collaborations, co-productions, people going back and forth.
It's truly a privilege to be here today on the 50th Toronto International Film Festival, celebrating the inaugural for Waves Bazaar. My heartfelt thanks to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, FICCI, NFDC and TIFF for creating this important platform that brings India and the world together in the spirit of creativity and collaboration.
Waves summit which happened in May. And to tell the fact that it was the first time such an event or a summit with more than 77 countries participation happened in this sector, media and entertainment sector. We usually have so many economic forums are there and industry forums are there, or security, other issues. But for media and entertainment, this was the first time which happened, and in our country and in India, and as per vision of our Honorable PM Sa'ar. And he was very, very clear and very positive that our media and entertainment industry should reach the entire world.
And in tennis, world number 1, Aryna Sabalenka defeated American 8th seed Amanda Anisimova in straight sets to win the US Open title for the second time in a row. The battle between the two boiled down to unforced errors as Sabalenka kept them 2-15 compared to 29 from her opponent. Sabalenka conceded just 4 unforced errors in the first set and converted all 3 break points to silence the home crowd. Sabalenka and Anisimova battled hard in a tightly contested second set, but the Belarusian dug deep in the tied break, wrapping up the match with an unreturnable serve. With this win, Sabalenka clinched the 4th Grand Slam title of her career and first this year after narrowly missing out on the French and the Australian Open titles. In men's singles, Jannik and Carlos Alcaraz clash in the blockbuster title contest on Sunday. They have shared previous 7 Grand Slam titles. This is the 3rd consecutive major final this year between them. Alcaraz clinched the French Open before Sinner took home the Wimbledon title. In the summit clash, not only the crown, but the number 1 spot in the rankings is also at stake.
The US Open is set for one of the sport's most gripping contests when defending champion and world number 1 Jannik Sinner will lock horns with Carlos Alcaraz in the title clash. The top 2 players will clash in the 3rd consecutive Grand Slam final this year. Alcaraz won the first meeting at the French Open before Sinner came out trumps at the Wimbledon. They have clashed 14 times in their professional career, Alcaraz winning 9 times while Sinner tasted success on the 5 occasions. The past 7 Grand Slams have been clinched by either the Italian or the Spaniard, with Sinner taking home 4 titles. Sinner beat Felix Auger-Aliassime 6-1, 3-6, 6-3, 6-4 in the semi-final to reach his 5th consecutive Grand Slam final. The Italian is only the 4th man in history to reach the finals of all 4 Grand Slams in a single season. He joins an exclusive club with Rod Laver, Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. The world number 1 aims to become the first man to successfully defend the US Open crown since Roger Federer in 2008. Meanwhile, Carlos Alcaraz overpowered Novak Djokovic in straight sets in the semi-finals. The 5-time Grand Slam winner has not dropped a set en route to the final. Apart from the crown, the final will also have one additional prize. The winner will take the number 1 spot in the rankings. Sports Desk, DD India.
The youth wing of the Bharatiya Janata Party BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha BJYM, on Sunday launched the Namo Yuva Run campaign to mark the 75th birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which falls on September 17th. The campaign aims to inspire youth to embrace fitness and stay away from drugs. The run will take place on September 21st. India's Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia and BJP MP and BJYM President Tejasvi Surya launched the campaign alongside actor model Milind Soman. Soman was announced as the brand ambassador of the Namo Yuva Run campaign.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के युवा मोर्चा के युवा साथियों, माय भारत प्लेटफॉर्म पर रजिस्टर्ड 1,80,00,000 युवा साथियों ने इस बार 21 सितंबर को एडिक्शन के चैलेंज के सामने जन जागृति के लिए, स्वदेशी के जन जागृति के लिए दोस्तों 75 सिटी में रन का आयोजन करा है। वैसे ही भारतीय युवा डायस्पोरा जो दुनिया में है, दुनिया के 75 सिटी में भी युवा रन का आयोजन करा गया है।
Today was the launch of the Namo Run, which is a gift to our Honorable Prime Minister on his birthday, which is on the 17th. The run will happen on the 21st of September, and the idea is to get 1 million Indians to be running on the 21st of September, which I think is something unprecedented. We've never had it happen in India ever, and I don't think it's ever happened in the world. So it's a great event, and the message is very, very important. It is Nasha Mukt Bharat, which means that we still have to continue our fight against drugs at every level to ensure that the youth of the country can contribute to the highest level.
That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live. And for those on the go, you can also download our DD India mobile app for quick news and updates on your fingertips. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.